welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do something very fun. It is a Wednesday night, and to spice things up, I wanted to get to know you guys a little bit better. So I asked you to send me some dilemmas, confessions, questions, that type of shit anonymously, and now I'm gonna answer them while smoking a fat soup. I also just got this grill. It's a heart. There was about 86 responses. I just posted it for one day, and honestly, I just picked the juiciest ones and some like good questions in there. So I don't know, like, should I just go 1 to 86? Should I just do that order? Or should I do backwards? Let's do 1 to 86. Like, let's get juicier as we go. The babes were scared at first, and then they got well comfortable. Some of you are bad. Some of you are bad. That is all I'm gonna say. Shit, like, I thought I was bad. You guys are just as bad. Let's get started. They say, I've started a new college in a completely different area. Any advice on how to make friends? And then there's another one that says, how do I be more confident in myself? For this question, I would literally just say, like, I feel like everyone's too prideful these days. And everyone, like, without even realizing it, you're very judgy to who you talk to. It's like, you could be friends with so many people, but you immediately cut them out. Like, you don't even consider them as friends just because they don't meet your standards. And it's really thing that I think you have to talk to everyone to, like, know who your people are. If you just base your life on, like, trying to find friends instead of actually just being nice to the people that are nice to you, like, it won't work out. With the confidence thing, I think it's also the same thing. You really have to put yourself out there. Confidence is just like putting on a show to others. I love drama class, so I'm good at this. Honestly, you don't need to have any yourself. It's honestly just about how people perceive you. So as long as you're comfortable around people, you'll look confident, I think. Is it weird that I'm like 18 with no experience at all, like none, haven't had my first kiss, don't talk to boys romantically, like nothing? And it's not even looks, because I'm not ugly, not in a cocky way. I just have no experience in any of it, and I'm 18. Is it weird? No, you're a baby adult. You've just turned into a baby adult. Every generation, things get younger. There's like some scientific word for this. If you look back on like how newspapers advertise makeup, nowadays it's like to little babies. Like literally, like that's not even cap, like little toddlers. But in the olden days, it would be like old women. And it just shows that like through generations, everything gets younger. I see like 10-year-olds on TikTok and they look lang. And I'm thinking, shit, like I didn't look like that. When I was 13, I remember people used to tell me, oh, like, how come you look like that at 13? I didn't look like that. And in this generation, everyone's doing stuff so early. And then with social media, everyone talks about it more. So it's like, shit, you're doing that? Like, why aren't I doing that? But in reality, no, 18 is like normal age. Like, that is like a good age. That's like a hot age. Like, that is a hot age to like not do anything. To be like, oh, like, I'm like a baby, like virgin. Like, I'm like Virgin Mary. Like, fucking take advantage of it. Might as well. Like, you've got your whole life to be fucking and sucking. You can wait. How to cut off friends when you're not confrontational. Okay, I actually know what to do now because I used to not be confrontational. And I used to like, this when I was like a baby. And I remember I used to like tell my friends that weren't in my school what would go on. And they'd be like, Libby, what the fuck? Like, that can't run. And I'd be like, what? And they tell me this shit to say to them. Like, my friends would like cuss them out for me. But then getting your friends to speak to them doesn't work. Because they'd come to me when I'm on my ones and they'd be like, so what? You're getting your friends to speak for you now? And I'd be like, kinda. To cut someone off, I would just say slowly slide away. Like, slowly separate. And if they clock, literally just say in a nice way, like, I feel like we're just on different paths. I've done this so much. Like, I cut people off so much. And sometimes I just don't even want an issue. Like, I can't be asked. I just don't want to be friends with you because I can tell we're not on the same paths. And I've had to sit down and like, not even in a beef way, just explain that to people. If they understand, they understand. If they don't, fuck them. We don't like them anyway. Do you think a cross-cultural marriage can work for all my fellow Estastians out there? I don't know what that word means. Cross-cultural marriage. I'm just going to work on what you said there. Yes, it depends on if you're ready to make it work. I feel like it depends how deep in your culture you are, but I feel like there are big differences. But if you're ready to put in the work and ready to change and make little change for your partner, I feel like 100% it could work. It does work in many cases, but there are quite a lot of deep-rooted problems in relationships due to how each different person was brought up. All relationships I've been in, we have quite like different relationships with our family, and there would just be certain things like I wouldn't do, and like he would do it in front of my family, and it was like so uncomfortable. Like he used to like always like kiss me. He'd get mad at me that I don't kiss him in front of his mom or my mom. First off, I was like 14 at the time, obviously. In my family, in my culture, with my black dad, do you think I'm gonna kiss my boyfriend in front of him? But he was Brazilian, and like his mom used to say to me, like, how come you don't kiss him? Like you don't like him? I'm like, no, like I thought it's like manners. And that's just like a small thing, but it's the differences. Do you know what I mean? Okay, next question is, I don't love my boyfriend. How do I tell him? Girl, this is my worst nightmare. Imagine if your partner thought of you like this. Like, I don't know what to say to you. Like, I think I've had this problem, like, in my first ever relationship. I was, like, in year 7, and I was too nice to break up with him. And it's them ones where you're just dating them to date them. And then I remember I didn't let him kiss me, and he just didn't like it. And he kind of, like, said something to me, and I think I wanted to break up with him. And instead of breaking up with him, I just aired him for a month. Don't do that. Like, do it nicely, bro. Like, do it how you would want someone to tell you that. Do you know what I mean? Like, treat others how you'd like to be treated. I don't even know. Like, shame on you. I know this is supposed to be like, did I say non-judgmental? I don't think I said this was going to be non-judgmental. Shame on you. Not shame on you. Like, maybe he's like a shitty guy. If he's a shitty guy, then he's a shitty guy. You know? What are your dreams? I feel like I always say I don't have dreams because I just never want to say them aloud almost. But what I've come to realize is that I do have dreams. It's like the shit that you were like thinking about when you were a baby. But I've always just been so humbled my whole life by everyone around me, by my family, on like, well, obviously you're not going to do that, Libby. So I've always just said it's unrealistic. But my dreams, and I still till this day say it's unrealistic because I understand a lot of people want to do it, and I don't go acting school. I'm not like supermodel skinny, like, do you know what I mean? But I would like to be like an actress, like a model, like living in New York. That is my dream. To just, I don't want to be really social media. I do this for kind of more memories. I want to show my feelings in a beautiful way. Do you know what I mean? I'm quite an artistic babe at heart. You wouldn't think it. Maybe you would. I actually am. This one's rude. This is just like the other one we just got. My boyfriend is Butters. First off, Butters is a horrible word. I hate it. But my boyfriend is Butters, and I invested in him at a young age because I thought he'd glow up. And now we've been together too long, and I can't escape. Help me, Liberty. Shame on you. After God, fear woman. Girl, I can't lie. I did this once. I can't lie. I did this once in year 7. And I remember the boys, not year 7, like year 8. The boy's older sister was Lang. So I was like, oh, like, he's probably going to have a glow up. He never did. Boys are kind of like built differently to girls. Like girls can have like mad glow ups. Boys, maybe try fall in love with his personality. Like, girl, just break up. Come on, women. You're brave enough. Like, you guys recognize that they're clapped and clearly the personality is not good enough for you to stay with him. So just leave him. If you're strong enough to recognize it, then you're strong enough to leave. Me, I like being delusional. I like not recognizing that they're bad for me, then you don't have to leave. Don't listen to that advice. That's delusional, Libby. Don't listen to that. I've never been in a relationship, just several failed talking stages. I just kept getting guys that want to manipulate me and add more problems to my life, and broke boys and just men who aren't serious. What do I do? I used to have this problem, like, I genuinely thought I was never going to find a boyfriend. Low-key right now, like, that's how I feel, like, but it's honestly a thing where it comes to you. Like, you guys think I'm capping when I say I don't talk to boys, but I genuinely don't talk to boys. Like, boys don't move to me when I go outside. People say, oh, it's because people are too scared to approach you. But I mean, like, I get crackheads approaching me. Like, I'm just a crack baby. Like, I attract crack. And I think you just have to wait. And I think it's also, like, the groups of people you put yourself out there with and how you present yourself. It really changes who approaches you. Like, even for example, if I wear like a little skimpy outfit, so many boys will approach me on road. If I literally put a jacket on, like, 0 boys will talk to me. When I say boys, I mean crackheads. Like, I don't get approached by actual boys, I get approached by crackheads. I low-key got like, oh my god, guys, I got sexually assaulted. I don't know if it's sexual assault or harassment. I got something that was illegal. Oh my god, wait, story time. I was on the train going to work, 8 a.m. 8:30 a.m. Bakerloo line. A bitch is sitting down. I think I was even like sleeping. Some man started wanking to me right in front of me on the train. When I tell you, I was fully dressed. I had no makeup on. And like, I didn't even clock. And some woman had to like pull me. She's like, And then the train like kept going and she just moved me. And she was like, oh my god, he was exposing himself. Everyone on the train starts coming up to me, giving me like speeches, motivational speeches. Like, oh my god, you're such a strong girl. Like da 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 da. I was like, oh my god, like it's actually 8:30. I'm gonna be late. And then the train stopped and I just thought it was stopping at a light or something. And then I hear, the train has just stopped because an incident occurred. TfL Transport Police are on their way now. And then the guy heard this and he was at the back of the car and he started dashing down the platform. And then all these like undercover TfL policemen like jumped him. And then they come on the train and now the train's like bare busy because like, they stopped at like Paddington to do this. And then one of the undies come up to me and he's like, we got him. And just walks away now. And I was just like sitting there and I was just like, thanks. And then everyone like was on the train looking at me like, what the fuck did you do, you bitch? And I was just like, let's take our first break because that story, like, actually deep. Why is my life like this? Why is my life like this? I don't know. I'm so scared of dating because my first impression is always way worse compared to my second. And obviously oh, that's so sad. But obviously I never get a second. It's either I'm too outgoing and overbearing or I get that I'm too shy and quiet. I want to make a good impression when I first meet a guy. What do I do? First off, same girl, same. Sometimes, like, my exes will say I'm too much. Boys I will first meet will say I'm too little. Like, I don't put enough effort in. I'm, like, boring. Imagine someone called me boring once. I was like, alright. Fuck men, like, why do you need to make a good impression to them when you meet a guy? Honestly, be yourself. Like, I know that sounds so cringe, but if you fake who you are, like, from personal experience, if you fake how you are, fake your personality, then they're just gonna fall in love with this false image of you and not who you really are. So literally, what's the point? When this boy said to me, like, I'm boring, he literally sat me down and basically said that I'm just boring, I don't do anything, like, he's never liked me. Like, I mean, I didn't even like him, so I was just sitting there like, alright. But in my mind, it was like, no one's ever said this to me. So if you think that clearly, like, we're not meant to be, obviously he came running back, tell me didn't mean it. But, like, the fact he said it, and he didn't mean it a little bit, I was like, oh my and say I'm boring. Suck your mother. But fuck men, like, you don't need to make a good impression. Literally be yourself, otherwise problems will occur. I accidentally kissed the boy my friend lost her virginity to recently, and now he has a thing for me, and I kind of like him too. Is that bad? I wasn't aware of what they done before, by the way, and we've been speaking for a while. Should I tell her? And she still likes him as well. Okay, obviously, well, if you're lying or not, but you said that you weren't aware of what they did before. Now that you are, it's better that you tell her the sooner rather than later, because then it makes it look like you're guilty for something. Obviously, virginity kind of trumps kissing. So it's like, even if he likes you more, I feel like if that's actually your best friend, you kind of have to stick to girl code a little bit and just respect her if that's your best friend. But it depends if it's not your friend or not. But if you know they wouldn't really give a fuck if it was to you, but if you know that she has respect for you, just keep that same level of respect. My boyfriend is really depressed and I'm trying to help and care for him, but we barely message and I feel so distant. Should I be patient even though my own needs aren't being met all of the time? Yes. As someone with depression, as someone who gets very sad, you don't understand how many of my problems would be fixed if I just had someone there. And I might be, or him, let's not talk about Liv so much, but he might not be telling you he loves you. He might be even saying rude things to you out of depression, but at heart he loves you. He's just going through something, and it's really a tap thing to go through, so you just kind of have to be patient, because once again, treat others how you'd like to be treated. If you were going through that and he was questioning whether to stay, that would hurt you. Do you know what I mean? It's obviously understandable for anyone in a relationship, because it's like when you sign up to a relationship, you're not agreeing to be their parent, so it's understandable if you don't want to look after him, but just being patient and caring for your partner is something that is kind of an agreed thing in boyfriend and girlfriend life. So I say wait for him. If you really love him, just know that he'll be back soon. He's just a bit sad right now. There's this guy that likes me, but he has a girlfriend and I know her, but we are not close. He has told me that he loves me multiple times and gets irritated if I speak to other boys. I've tried ending things with him, but he's so toxic and has a girlfriend, but I'm getting feelings for him. He always comes near my house after school to see me and said that he's willing to break up with her for me, but I can't be with him as he's a cheater. Am I making the right choice? Yes, girl, stay far away. Like, boys will convince you that they're choosing you over another girl. They will do you just how they did that girl with another cuter girl. There's always someone better looking than you. There's always someone that's got a better personality than you. Someone's funnier than you, bigger bum than you, better tits than you. All you have to hope is that your man or your partner is loyal. As 21 Savage said, I'd rather have loyalty than love, because love don't mean jack. Love is just a feeling. You can love somebody and still stab them in the back. Yeah. What the fuck were we even talking about again? I was doing friends with benefits. They abbreviated that and I didn't know what that meant at first. With a boy in secret for years. And I loved him, but he treated me like absolute shit. Insulting how I looked, how I acted. He was the first and only person I've ever been with. And honestly, 100% honest with, and he used it against me. I was pregnant and he made me get an abortion. He always treated me like I was nothing. And at the end of it, he just left, even though a part of me will always love him despite everything he's ever done to me. I still have to see him all the time. No one knows because he told me to keep everything secret. Oh, the first red flag, like there was like obvious red flags, but like the last one, like he told you to keep everything secret. There's a reason for that. I've been in so many relationships with like narcissistic abuses, and literally like one thing they'll get onto you is like talking to your friends, and they'll try to like isolate you. I used to like my friend, like obviously you tell your friends shit, you talk, people talk, real people talk. And they always be like, why are you telling your friends that? Why are you talking shit about me? I'm not talking shit, like I'm just talking about what you did. And if you think it's bad, like, do you know what I mean? Then you know what it is. Eventually, I stopped telling people. And then the longer he was able to do the stuff he was doing to me, because I wasn't telling people. Because if you told people, everyone would goddamn tell you fuck off from him. And you probably would listen. A lot of people have herpes. How do you break the ice before having sex that you or them might have it? My pussy tight, my pussy clean, my pussy fresh. Do you have HIV? Hi, I heard that you might... I don't know. I feel like you might have to ask the clinic about that one. I'm not sure how to pass that information. I genuinely can't think of a sensible way to answer that. Ooh, this one is tea. I exaggerate my sexual assault because I fear people will minimize my experience and won't take me seriously. I feel like people have an image of what sexual assault should look like, and if your story doesn't coincide with their picture, they don't believe you. After God for a woman. After God for a woman. I get where you're coming from, but I think that by doing that, you also undermine how bad other girls' sexual assaults have been, because like you make it up. I understand that yours are bad, but like there's like some like serious like Jeffrey Dahmer shit. Do you know what I'm talking about? I get where you're coming from, but I don't know, something about what you said just doesn't seem right. My ex wants a secret relationship because he does music and doesn't want people knowing about his personal life. I don't know if I can handle it, but I really love him, and now we're talking about getting back together. What do I do? You know how weird this is, like, hearing you guys say this shit to me? Because I've been in so many of your positions, and, like, I used to be the type of person, like, oh, like, he doesn't want people knowing that we're together. Like, what do I do? Bro, do you know, like, reading it aloud, like, it's so, like, clear he doesn't like you. Like, that is in from the bottom of my heart with love. Like, bro, like, actually, imagine if your dad went around and he was like to you, oh, like, don't tell people I'm with your mom. Like, don't tell people that. Like, it's bare disrespectful. I've been in everyone's position. Like, everyone who's saying this, I've been there, done that, and I accepted it for probably, like, years straight. Maybe, like, probably, like, actually, like, a week ago. So, don't worry, like, all in it together, girlies, but, yeah, mad dumb. Let's not do that again. Anyway, I'm 17 and my body count is 60. Woo! But most of them, I don't, most of them, I didn't even want to do it, but I felt like I couldn't say no. I don't know how to deal with this because everything's in me as a hoe. Oh, that's horrible. I feel like anyone who thinks that of you, you should start to distance yourself, because it's a point where you're not going to want to explain what happened that many times. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone regardless. Do you know what I mean? You can do what you want at the end of the day, and you don't have to explain yourself to anyone. I don't think you should worry about what other people think of you. People can think you're a hoe. In a couple of days, they're going to think the next girl's a hoe. I think every girl has someone calling them a hoe. Someone can call me a hoe, and I've been, like, obsessed with the same, like, boy for, like, a year. And he wasn't my boyfriend either. Like, it's embarrassing. So, don't worry about what people think. As you see, I don't care. Because we're all in the same boat. Like, we're all actually losers. Like, we all make dumb mistakes. We're all, like, neeks sometimes. And that's not me being rude either. I feel like sometimes people might think I'm being rude. Like, I just say the exaggeration of words. Do you know what I mean? Like, this guy I like has been airing my messages, even though they're not that reliable sometimes. But I don't like it, and he shows no interest. He says that he's busy studying, and he watches my stories and is active online. He told me he still wants to meet up because he's coming to my city soon. Should I go or no? We barely even talk online. Well, first off, make sure you're not getting catfished or some shit. But after, some people are just maybe bad on social media. So maybe if you do meet up in real life, maybe there could be a better connection or something. But be careful. Don't get killed. Okay. Break. My ex-boyfriend has been accused of rape twice before, and I didn't know what to think about it until he pressured me into sex. This carried on happening every once in a while until I called it quits. Now that I'm out of the relationship, I see how wrong it was, but I don't want to report him because I still love him despite how fucked it all is. How do I approach the situation? If you don't want to report him to the police, which is your own decision, and I'm not going to tell you what to do on that one, I feel like it's more a thing you'll just have to get over the loving him bit. Like, I've loved people who are bad people before, and it's hard, but I feel like the fact that they're a bad person should make it a lot easier, because at least you have a reason to hate them. Literally, I would just say distance yourself, because when you hang out with people that have a bad energy like that, it just transfers to you, and you don't even want to be hanging out with people like that. Even if he's not your boyfriend anymore, like, you don't really want that around you. Even if you love him, you have to recognize that that's wrong. Basically, a couple months ago, I had cheated on my boyfriend. There was a lot of trauma that happened behind it, and it led up to those events. But obviously, it's still cheating. I did it twice, and I honestly don't know what was wrong with me when I did it. I completely cut off contact with the guy I cheated on him with. I apologized to him, I apologized to his mom and everything. But we always continuously argue about every single thing. I wouldn't expect it to be the same, but he tries to act. He seems like he hasn't healed from the situation. But when I try to end things with him, he won't let it happen. He says he forgives me, but uses against me in arguments. I've completely changed as a person since then, and it seems like he hasn't moved on from it. What should I do? I swear I don't go through any original things in this lifetime. Honestly, I just say leave. Like, I left. I feel like I don't know how bad to what extent your cheating was, but I do feel like boys try to manipulate girls and make them overanalyze one bad thing that they've done wrong. So you dismiss all the little or massively bad things they've done. And at that point, if they're still not forgiving you and they're making you feel uncomfortable and you're not even happy anymore, you don't feel that same type of connection you guys used to have, clearly it's just not supposed to work. Do you know what I mean? Let the universe do its thing. Adios. I thought I was over my ex, but I recently had a sexual dream about him, and now I can't stop thinking about him. Girl, I need tips on how to actually get over an ex. You know, when the dreams get involved, it's just you can't even control them ones. It's just so what am I supposed to do now? Imagine the sex was bad. Do I stay or do I go? By the way, I'm a girl. My girlfriend is really good friends with a girl who has a crush on her, and she's constantly messaging her 24/7 throughout the day. They call sometimes and even FaceTime, but she just blames it on the girl. What should I do? Lib. It takes two to tango, baby. It takes two to motherfucking tango. So your girlfriend's a slap. I'm kidding. But low key, I'm not. Tell her, it takes two to tango, whore. No, don't say that to your girlfriend. The fact, she's just blaming it on the girl but still doing it just shows that she's kind of, low-key entertaining it. I don't know, just be careful in it. You don't want to be, the controlling girlfriend, but let the universe do its own course. Let her do what she wants. You don't really need to tell her the obvious things, don't cheat, don't disrespect me. And if she does, just leave her, because clearly if she's disrespecting you, and you have to tell her, there's no point, because clearly that's not a person you'd want to be with anyway. I purposely rang the police on a motive because I wasn't allowed to go. Everyone had to leave the motive, lol. That is something I would do. I always look for aesthetically pleasing friends because I always see people with their groups on TikTok and socials, but now I have no friends because that's all I look for. Should I really care? I have to God fear woman. Honestly. I'm a biggest feminist, but you guys are horrible. Like, sorry, this isn't, I never said this was a no judge zone. I'll just put that out there. No, obviously you shouldn't really care about that. Obviously, it really doesn't matter. If you want friends to take photos with, you can look for models and ask them to meet for creative shoots. If you want pretty people to take photos with. If you want friends aren't objects to take photos of. Do you know what I mean? They're not, like, if you want a friend, you're not being their friend so they can be your model. I lie about my hobbies so I seem preoccupied, but I'm not. I've told everybody who's asked me what I do with my free time that I play volleyball and the guitar, and I really do nothing. Why is that low-key me? I don't do shit. I don't know. Like, I don't actually know either. Like, people ask me, like, what I want to be when I'm older. Like, I don't know. Dead. Like, I genuinely don't know. I genuinely couldn't tell you. Therapist? But then you have to go to school. Fuck that. These are the last two, y'all. So, my ex cheated on me throughout the whole time we went out, and I only found out after we broke up. A couple months later, everyone was saying that he was carrying a knife, so I reported him anonymously to get revenge and because it was morally right. He got kicked out of school, went to court, and now has a criminal record. He still doesn't know it was me that reported him. Bitch, calm as a bitch. Like, literally. You guys need to teach me how to do some anonymous reporting to the police. Because you know what? Get what you're given. Like, get what you deserve. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, calm as a bitch. I'm a firm believer in my sister Karma. And I believe she is a woman. I believe Karma comes back in a circle. Like, she is a little bitch. Last one. Basically, me and my ex have been going back to each other for 2 years now, but I found out he fucked my friend, so of course I'm pissed. And I fucked his friend. He was lame, don't worry. But then a month and a bit later, I found out I'm pregnant. But the thing is, I don't even know whose child it is. Not even the worst part, because if it happens to be my ex child, then how do I even go about that? That's a lot to take in. Like, I'm actually going to need a second still to reread that. Like, that's just a sticky one. Man's just going to have to wait. Like, you're genuinely just going to have to wait and get a DNA test. Or maybe just, like, if you know that you don't want it to be your ex's child, just, like, maybe pretend it's not. Like, don't get a DNA test, and then you can just never know. If in the case it is, well, you wouldn't know. I'm probably not the best person to ask for baby advice. Like, I'm not really, like, a maternal figure. Do you know what I mean? Thank you very much for watching my YouTube video. I hope you enjoyed this type of content. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you next week. I will be back posting consistent videos. I'm very sorry. So new videos every week. So make sure to turn on my post notifications. Mwah, 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 mwah. Good night, y'all.